What's your main purpose for visiting Thailand?
I met with Prime Minister visit in Davos 2009. So he's not a new acquaintance, he's an old acquaintance in a sense. The reason why I'm here is to reconfirm our good relationship, particularly kind of relationship between Thailand and Korea, and also because I am heavily involved in the issue of climate change, to discuss the issue of climate change, how to tackle it, how we could cooperate in tackling the climate change in the coming years, because 2012 is the last year of the first commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol, and 2012 is a very important year, because without knowing what would be the alternative regime for the Kyoto Protocol, we have to work very hard to find out some alternative to the existing Kyoto Protocol. Therefore, I think we discussed this issue with your Prime Minister.
So what's the main idea in the discussion? What you need Thailand to do to respond to the climate change?
Well, Thai position is that we have to have the so-called Annex 1 parties to the Kyoto Protocol continue to assume the important role in tackling the climate change after 2012. But as I said, Kyoto Protocol after 2012 is very uncertain. It's almost certain that it's not going to repeat again. Second commitment period may not come. Therefore, we have to find out some alternative to the existing Kyoto Protocol. This is very critical at this juncture. In actual fact, in Copenhagen, year before, we had to found some modality, but we failed to do so. And even if we found the modality at the time, to go through the ratification process in the National Assembly takes 2 to 3 years. So it's already too late to find a new alternative with the Kyoto Protocol now. But unless we tackle the challenge of climate change, the future of humanity will be in peril. So we have to find some alternative. Therefore, this year, next year, very, very important in the history of mankind. On this, we have to cooperate very closely, not only between Korea and Thailand, but globally we have to cooperate closely so that we can find some way to meet the challenge of climate change.
You say it's important this year, next year. But
yes.
Why is so important? Anything will change in the circumstance?
Well, because last year is the last year of the Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol's commitment period is between 2008 to 2012, 5 years. After that, we don't have now alternative. So what should be that? We do not know. And therefore, this year, next year is very important. Particularly next year is very important in the history of dealing with climate change issues.
Actually, we should have some kind of idea for the alternative to replace it to Kyoto Protocol. I think you all might have some idea of how to do so. So
well, Korean position was that the UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, they have a principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. We are all responsible, but developed countries that benefited from the first industrial revolution, 39 countries, so-called Annex Party 1, are more responsible historically. Therefore, Kyoto Protocol has this Annex 1 party inscribed there, and overall they had to reduce the emission by 5.2% as compared to 1990 by 2012. But that has not been achieved. Even then, succession to replacing the Kyoto Protocol is very important. That has not yet been done. Our position is that if we do not find alternative governance, global governance for climate change to Kyoto Protocol, we have to find some way, makeshift sort of alternative. So we proposed formally that instead of Annex 1 and non-Annex 1 parties, there may be some in-between category. Say we call through NAMA registries with technical So by putting some in the middle, we may be able to get over the difficulties, because Japan has already officially declared in Cancun that they are not going to renew this second commitment period of Kyoto Protocol if other countries do not follow. So this is very, very difficult times, but as we may know, UN Secretary General is very, very eager to see the fine settlement of this issue within the time limit that we have now. And one of the reasons why he created the UN Secretary General's high-level panel on global sustainability is exactly to find some ways, to modality, to deal with this problem, in addition to preparing report to Rio Plus 20.
I think some country, not only the developed country also have an excuse that we need the economic development rather than the protection of the environment. I don't know what is the compromising point, which is the middle way of this.
Yeah. All the countries have this problem because when you grow fast, you're bound to degrade. You are bound to have environmental degradation. So in every country, developed and developing country, you have two groups of people: growth proponent and environmentalist.
Yep.
Growth proponent wants to have growth first and then deal with the environment later. Whereas environmentalists argue that in order to protect the environment, you have to have growth, slower growth. So it has been always an argument. Now, that was a problem of environment. Now we have climate issues. Climate issue is really even bigger problems. Perhaps environment is subset of climate problems. So, because unless we deal with these climate issues, if we leave it as it is, business as usual model shows that by the end of this century, the world average temperature will grow by, increase by 6.4% centigrade. If you consider the last 10,000 years, world global temperature increased by 1 degree centigrade. No human, no animals, no plants can survive with sudden increase of temperature like that. So we have to find some way. And what they agreed in Copenhagen was to stabilize the concentration of greenhouse gas in such a way that we maintain 2 degrees centigrade, increase of 2 degrees centigrade by the end of this century. That is sort of agreement made. Now, in order to do that, every country has to take actions. In order to take actions, as well as poor country has to grow also. So alternative we found was that instead of doing the past paradigm of growth that's quantity-oriented, massive fossil fuel energy dependent growth, that is, we go to the other paradigm, that is low carbon, quality-oriented, low carbon green growth. That is why Korea is promoting green growth now very forcefully. We have started this green growth policy from the early part of 2009, and we have 5-year green growth plan, and also National Assembly passed a basic law on low carbon green growth, first kind of its world, also its kind in the world. And we have been accumulating very interesting experience by implementing this green growth policy during the last 2 years and 2-3 months. Now, the Global Green Growth Institute, which I am now chairing, is international institution, non-profit institution, and the board of directors are composed of international personalities. Vice chair is Lord Nicholas Stern, of Stern Review fame at LSE London. So we are trying to promote the new growth paradigm, which not only enhances growth, but at the same time promotes climatic and environmental sustainability. This is not trade-off between growth and environment, climatic sustainability, but it's complementary. This is a very interesting paradigm, maybe first of its kind in the world also. And we have been implementing this for the last 2 years. Now, developed countries have capacity to adapt. this, no problem, because they have capacity, technology, finance. But developing countries have no technology, no experience, no capacity, domestic capacity. So Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, is created to help developing countries to adopt this new paradigm of growth. And by adopting this, we think that they will be able to leapfrog the growth paradigm, growth process. They can jump over to a new point without going through the sort of long journey through green growth. And at the moment, we have a small country project in Ethiopia and Brazil and Indonesia, particularly Kalimantan.
So you have Brazil,
Indonesia and Ethiopia. And with the Ethiopia Prime Minister's Office is working with us, GGGI, and in Brazil, Ministry of Finance is working with us. Kalimantan regional government is working with us. We have started this way, but we are now expanding our activities all over country, all over the world. Now, in case Thailand, Korea voluntary emission reduction program, we've been conducting during the last 3-4 years since 2005 by the Ministry of Knowledge Economy, has cooperation with your counterpart here in Thailand for institutionalizing this voluntary emission reduction system. And we started from October last year, and it's continuing this year. So it's a small, but I think we will build on this program to expand our cooperation.
What kind of project? What kind of project you have?
What kind of project?
Yes.
This is because we have Korean voluntary emission reduction schemes, and on this Korean counterpart is Korean Energy Management Corporations, and the chairman was here last time to work with his counterpart. Which is counterpart in Thailand?
Ministry of Environment.
Ministry of Environment is counterpart. So in a small way, we have also started with Thailand on this, but we'll expand these activities more and more.